This is JILLIANA Ranicar-Breese in New York. This is in fact my first interview, and I have the pleasure of meeting Dr. let's get it right. Shmuel, did I pronounce it correctly?
Yes.
Shmuel Tatz. In fact, we met in Lithuania, in Vilnius, and we kept in touch for various reasons. And I've come specially to his clinic, which is in the middle of New York, because he specializes in a technique called body tuning, and obviously he will explain that shortly. But I wanted to ask you about your earlier life and how you got involved in the body. Now, you came from Lithuania, which when you were a young man was part of the Russian Empire, the USSR. Tell me, how was life there when you were growing up as a young man?
Was life very, very beautiful. I can talk about myself. We have everything what we want. We have beautiful summers, always in summer in camp, in countryside. We play sport, any sport what you want.
A lot of sport.
A lot of sport. Music, Soviet time music, not Elvis Presley and other what it was in the West, but everything was very nice.
So you were surrounded with a classical. You said in fact not classical.
The beginning was not classical music. It was simple, popular music, maybe like pop music.
Pop?
Maybe like pop music, simple, very, very popular Italian music.
Oh, Italian?
Yes, Italian songs.
You mean like Neapolitan songs?
Yes, was, some was popular from Yugoslavia, from Poland, everything like Soviet blocs and a little bit Italy.
Ah, and what year would this be, roughly?
In the 60s.
In the 60s. Did they have the Beatles in the 60s? The Beatles?
Beatles came in the middle of the 60s.
But they weren't banned?
No, Beatles never even came to Soviet Union, but this beginning was exactly when Beatles became very, very high. I moved to classical music.
Oh, that's interesting. So that would be around 1963, 64.
Yeah, I moved to 65, 67. I had little bit Beatles.
Yes.
And later I moved to class 2 Mahler.
Right. So when you were studying, you studied, well, it's really physical education, wasn't it?
Yeah, physical education, but specialized in medical exercise.
Now, what does that mean exactly?
This is part from what now in the West from physical therapy. In the West, physical therapy has 3 points. 1 point, hands-on therapy. 2nd point, exercise. This is what is, and 3rd, electrotherapy. In Soviet Union, this was 3 separated professions. In the West, this is 1 profession, and I think maybe this is right. This is supposed to be 1 profession. And after when I came to Israel in 73.
And you were 27, you said.
Yeah, but then I was had possibility to study the Western style physical therapy. And no question, some stuff in Western style physical therapy, very high standards.
Yes.
Some stuff was in Russia, Soviet Union had, and I felt very, very comfortable. I have the possibility to combine the Soviet Union physical therapy in the Western physical therapy.
Did you travel to Russia?
Yes, many times. I studied in Moscow a couple of months. It was free, was to travel from Lithuania to Georgia, to Kazakhstan, it was free. This like today from New York I can...
Yeah. It was like the United States, so to speak. Yes. Oh, and of course, naturally, you knew Russian, of course.
I knew perfect Russian.
Yes. And at home, did you speak Yiddish?
My parents spoke only Yiddish.
Yes.
But we tried to answer in Lithuanian.
Right.
But I'm okay in Yiddish. I can.
Because in the old days in New York, there were several Yiddish theatres and Yiddish newspapers.
Yes,
Is that right?
Yes, the Lithuanian Yiddish, this is classical Yiddish. When I listen how the people talking in Brooklyn Yiddish, I felt very, very not comfortable. This is not Yiddish, this is some kind...
Americanized Yiddish.
Not American, this is some kind...
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so you lived in Israel for, you said, no, you studied for 3 years, and you lived in Israel for 10 years.
Correct.
Yes, at the Hadassah Hospital in Jerusalem.
Yes, after school I was working in Hadassah Hospital, but the hospital, this is not physical therapy. This is, in the hospital, this is like therapy to make the patient stand up and go at home.
Aha, like physiotherapy.
This is, you know, this is medicine, serious medicine to keep alive the person, and physical therapy to make work from the hospital fast. And I like to help to people to be more comfortable, not only to walk, to run, no pain, to play soccer, no pain, to play tennis, no pain.
Oh yes, you told me that you worked with the soccer team.
Yes, I was working with the best soccer team in
Israel?
In Israel, in professional soccer team. I was working every day, afternoon I was going to the practice, and I was preparing the players for weekend game on Shabbat.
And of course, when you're meeting professional sportsmen, it's a different psychology, isn't it? It's to win. It's a bit like running and...
No, this is sport people. You mean the people from Soviet Union and Soviet...
No, any sports people, really.
Yeah,
it's a different mentality.
Mostly nasty people, this is soccer players. Very, very nasty.
They're nasty.
Egoistic. Everything how you want to tell bad about soccer players, I can tell.
Oh.
Mostly elegant, basketball players, much more elegant. Tennis player, much more aristocratic.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's very interesting. You could write a book on...
I can write about this, about the old sports people, what kind, and I have fun to work with Olympic athletes in Russia and in Olympic athletes in Israel.
Oh.
And this is very, very...
Oh, we must talk about that in a different interview.
Please.
That's most interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I think we'll continue that in part 2. Thank you very much.
Good.